Hey y'all, it's me Alex. Today I have a different sort of video today because I'm going to be talking about makeup for my aspirational self. I have heard, I believe it was Hannah Louise Poston talk about this concept of makeup that you think is just like really cool in theory and you would love to be the kind of person who wears that sort of makeup, but ultimately it's not quite for you. So there's makeup that doesn't quite fit my style, but I would love to be that kind of person who does wear it. And then there's also just makeup that straight up scares me. And that's where you say, but Alex, you have no fear. You don't give a fuck. And that's where I say, haha, I have tricked you. I am a trickster god. I have a lot of fears and I give a lot of fucks about what people think of me. So that often prevents me from wearing certain things that I might otherwise have a fun time with. Case in point, this lipstick is actually one of the things that inspired me to make this video. I don't often wear hot pink lipstick, and that's strange because I love hot pink eyeshadow, and like I obviously don't particularly mind it as a color, but I was like trying to get free shipping and then I bought this lipstick because it was like $5, which would have been the shipping cost anyway, and I was like, well, you know, it's only $5 if I don't end up like wearing it or enjoying it, but I've been forcing myself to wear it. I think because usually I associate like a bold hot pink or red lip with like minimal eye makeup, and usually when I have to choose between eye and lip makeup, I usually go for eye makeup, and we're in the middle of a pandemic where everyone's wearing masks, so at the moment, I do not particularly have the need for a bright lip such as this. However, I have been trying to juxtapose it with brighter eyeshadow, like this lime green look I did today. I've been using this also with the Kaleidos Makeup Lunar. I'm talking too fast. With the Kaleidos Makeup Lunar Lavender palette, and I think that that is a nice color combination as well. So this is one of the things that kind of scares me slash is for my aspirational self, but you know, I'm kind of like digging it. I am kind of getting into it. So let me talk about the actual makeup that is on this list that I do not own. For example, basically everything from Glossier that isn't the cloud paint. Now, while I'm not particularly interested in just like generally buying from Glossier at the moment because I've heard that they have had some like, they treat their employees badly apparently, especially like in a racist way, so I don't particularly feel like buying from them at the moment until they rectify that. However, that entire style of makeup is something that I find incredibly cool, but also incredibly not for me. Now, I own a couple of the cloud paints and I do love a good cream or liquid blush. I feel like that's super flattering on me, especially since I like a more kind of natural-ish skin look, like natural kind of glowy skin with the bright eyeshadow and the bright lip. But there's a lot of other things in there that I do kind of wish that I could like, I don't want to say that like I could pull off, but I feel like I could pull off because like, I feel like you could be as like confident as anyone in the world but still have things that you don't feel like you can pull off, you know? And so I don't like limiting myself in that way, but we're talking about what's for my aspirational self. So they have those like Skywash liquid eyeshadows, and while I might go for a liquid eyeshadow when it comes to like the like shimmery duo multi-chrome sort of shadows, they have them in mattes. I know that those don't get like the greatest reviews, but I do find them really interesting because I know they have like a chartreusey type of green one. They have like a periwinkle as well as some like more neutral natural shades, and actually my pastor, she was mentioning to me that she bought a couple and she really liked them. So I think it all depends on like the kind of person, and she's shown me them on herself and they look really good on her. But I would love to be the kind of person who does like just an easy all matte shadow look. And when I was first getting into makeup, that's actually something I would do. I had this eggplant Revlon matte shadow that I would just like put kind of everywhere and do what I call the Bucky Barnes smoky eye, but with an eggplanty shadow instead of a black one. But I can't envision myself necessarily doing that with a lighter color, which is kind of a lot of what they have. And I think it looks really cool on people, but I feel like it would just like look so out of place with just like the entire rest of me. And then there's also like the boy brow, which I really really would love to try. I have tried the Essence Make Me Brow back when my hair was like a more natural color, and it did work really well when I was a blonde, but I don't know, I can't unsee myself with like colorful brows. I just use eyeshadow at the moment to fill in my brows, and that's why I can really only do the Insta Brow look with my brows, because I don't see my brows being any color other than what matches my hair ever. But that also definitely limits me in terms of kind of like what style I can do my brows, and I would love to have just like the cool, natural, like fluffy, tomboy-ish look, but they don't make any brow, like, what's it called? Brow mascara? They don't make any of that in like fun and funky colors, and I kind of wonder if maybe I could get like a colorful mascara to do that, but then it would have like the gigantic wand, and I don't think that that would work. So please, please, some brand, come out with a colorful brow mascara so that way I can maybe pull it off. I could probably even DIY it, you know, if I actually ever had the wherewithal to make that happen, but I don't. I am very lazy, and I like all of my makeup products to come pre-made. So that is that. I would just generally love to try like more Glossier type looks, but I'm so used to like this being my face that I can't envision anything else being my face. You know what I mean? Okay, also, colorful blush. One of the brands that I listed in my brands I want to try in 2020 video was Likely Makeup, and they, mostly because they have a couple of colorful blush palettes, and they're actually pretty affordable. I think they're like $25 each, which to me isn't too bad for like an indie blush. And I haven't bought from them, and I'm probably not going to buy from them by the end of 2020, simply because I am a chicken. I am an actual chicken when it comes to blush. I made an entire video on blushes for people who are afraid of blush, because guess what? I am afraid of blush. I tried some yellow blush using my Sugar Pill Butter Cupcake shadow back in like March or April, and then I never did it again. I didn't hate how it looked on me. However, I feel like anything more intense than even that would just be a lot of work on my face. I also have like a lot of redness in my cheeks, so anything that goes too far in the pink or red direction, and I feel it's like very, very bold, I feel like that kind of brings that out a little too much, and like not in a cute way for me. I also just generally feel like the yellow blush kind of took a lot to blend. I think it's because I do have more pinky undertones, like neutral to pink, and so anything that goes on like the yellow or green end of the spectrum on my skin, you have to blend it a lot in order to even make it look sort of decent. So I want to be that bitch that like wears a really funky, colorful blush. I don't know what is stopping me other than the fact that it feels like so much work, and I am so scared of just like looking sunburnt instead of cute, you know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't quite feel right. Speaking of face products, colorful highlighters. Y'all will know that I bought the KVD Vegan Beauty back when it was not KVD Vegan Beauty Alchemist palette because of, well, the name, and also it just looked kind of interesting, and I have since basically panned the pink shade, gotten a little bit of pan on the purple, and then the green and the blue barely got any effort. I did put the green on my inner corner for my highlight today. I feel like if I wear any color highlighter other than pink when it comes to funky colored highlights, it looks just absolutely sickening on me, and not in like the fun way. Like, I'm not opposed to looking sick or dead. I am in the alternative makeup sphere, and I have admired many a goth look in my day. Because my undertones are basically on the opposite end of the color spectrum from green and or blue, to me, whenever I put a highlight of that sort of nature on my face, it just ends up looking like a stripe. I am wearing perhaps the most bold highlighter in my collection today, which is Morningstar from Melt, which is like this pinky pearly shift, and that's about all I can handle. I love how colorful highlighters look on so many different people. I saw that Kaleidos recently released like a multi-chrome highlighter, and I would love to be that kind of person to wear a multi-chrome highlighter. However, I don't know if I can pull that off. I think that that is something that is made for people much cooler than I am. I am only about like this level of cool, and I feel like in order to pull off a multi-chrome highlighter, you have to be at like this level of cool, which is basically the level of cool of like everyone except me, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel like I would just maybe end up using that as like an eyeshadow. But like colorful highlighter, I love it on everyone else. I feel like it doesn't quite work for me. It's a little too pinky for any of the other colors that aren't pink to look good on it, whereas I feel like, I don't know, other people can pull it off better than me. Anyway. And then the last thing that I am thinking of that I would love to try, but I feel is definitely for a different version of me, is water activated liners. I have seen so many water activated liners kind of come out in the last year or so, and I think that that has been a brilliant trend, especially with everyone kind of wearing masks and so focusing a lot more on the eye makeup. And I think that looks super great on so many different people. Like there's this one from by Mellow Lops, the ones from Suva Beauty, Midas Cosmetics, all of those. I think they all look super cool and I love watching other people do it. However, I have shaky hands. I've mentioned this in videos before. One of the reasons I like the Melt gel liners is because they're pretty easy to work with and you don't have to go over it a whole bunch of times. You know, having to mix together the water activated liners, if you don't get quite like the right mixture, you might like lose some of that pigmentation, and I don't like any liner that I have to go over multiple times. Even the yellow green liner from the Melt and Beetlejuice collection, which I do have on my waterline because I feel like that's kind of the only way I can really wear it and make it look good on me. You have to go over that a couple times if you're doing any sort of like wing or graphic liner, and that can get a little crackly. And I know that the crackliness wouldn't be as much of a problem with a water activated liner, but those feel like a lot of effort when I watch people use it. I also kind of feel like too, one of the reasons I like gel liners but not necessarily liquid liners is because like if I'm doing a wing with a gel liner, there's like a little bit of time before it kind of like dries down that I can just like, you know, if I notice that there's a little bit of a smudge or it's not as like sharp as I want it to be. But in my experience with like liquid liners, you don't necessarily have that, and so you have to either like clean it up with makeup remover or concealer. And in my experience, when I've tried to do that like with my face, I haven't been able to clean it up that way as well. I don't know if anyone else has that problem or if it's a very like me specific issue, but it is what it is, and it's something I have trouble with. And if you have any recommendations for gel liners that are similar to the Melt ones, please let me know because I do want more colors. I think that they have a nice variety in their colors of gel liners. I want a few more. I want some other colors, and especially if they're on the less expensive side, because I recognize that they're like 20 bucks. So that's a lot to shell out for a gel liner. Okay, so I know this was a video a little bit on the shorter side, but I decided I just kind of wanted to talk about this concept of like makeup for your aspirational self. So let me know what sort of makeup that you envision for your aspirational self, but you know in your heart of hearts that your real life actual self probably isn't going to use nearly as much as the you in your head does. And if you've made it this far in this video, thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see y'all in my next one. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye!